I'm just in the kitchen chefing it up and bartending today, making a little bit of liquid milk. It's good too.
Liquid. So shout out to our cousin, right? Alicia, shout out to her because she is a great bartender. She was doing this, and we're gonna keep doing it. You know. See what you're gonna do.
Fill up the rest of this with some pineapple juice.
Okay.
Like so. Throw the lid on the shaker.
Okay. Shake it.
Make sure you don't hear good, so I don't make it.
Okay.
Boom.
Sweet sour mix.
So you got your Malibu pineapple, your Captain Morgan spice, blue curacao. You got the melon liqueur, sweet and sour pineapple juice. Shake it up real good. Take this off. Boom. Okay, so boom. Some of y'all know who I am. Some of y'all don't know who I am. So I am going to go ahead and formally introduce myself for those of you who do not know who I am. My name is Katrina. I am the wife of Miles. Hey, boo. I am co-owner of Perfectly Flawed, which was formerly known as SJH Logistics. And I am co-author of Go From Zero to Six Figures with Freight Dispatching. Wanted to give y'all a brief rundown. You might have heard this from Miles, but I'm going to go ahead and do the rundown again for those of you who have not. If this is your first time looking at us or listening to us, I'm going to go ahead and give it a rundown. As I stated, we used to be called SJH Logistics. We are now called Perfectly Flawed. We did a rebrand. For those of you who have been following us from the beginning, we were SJH Logistics. We had trucks on the road. We were a full-out logistics company, right? We had trucks on the road. We had a dispatch company and everything in between. So with our trucks being on the road, we hired drivers, right? So we had this one driver, did the extensive background check and everything. Everything came back good. So we put him on the road. He was actually one of our best drivers, right? He got pulled over for a dot inspection. So if you're in the logistics industry, you are more than likely familiar with those dot inspections. Those are required in order for you to stay compliant. So it's not out of the ordinary to get pulled over from one of those inspections. So it was our turn, right? So our driver gets pulled over, everything's going great until they look on the inside of his truck and he gets caught with narcotics. Right. We had no idea. Like I said, when we did the background check on him, it did not come up that, he was into anything like that. And it was because he had just never been caught. Unfortunately, that is one of the prices that you pay when you are a trucking company like we are, especially a smaller business. So when he got caught with the narcotics, he went to jail, of course, but that also took SJH Logistics out of service immediately. So when we were taken out of service, we had to start over, basically. So we did a rebrand called Perfectly Flawed. So now here we are. When we were SJH, we did do the dispatch training and everything, but we kind of started off from a higher end. So like Miles was telling you all, we started off with showing everybody how to use the most expensive load boards and, do everything the most expensive routes. So this time around, we want to actually teach you guys the way that we learned when we first started out. We didn't first start out, like big, we started off small. We started off with the free trials and, like everything as free as possible. So this is how we want to teach you guys too. Our target audience is the people who are just starting, who might just be living off of one income or, can't afford to do everything big. So this is for y'all. Miles covered a couple of things. I want to cover something out of our book. I'm going to cover credit card authorizations. If you have gotten this far, if you already have a carrier, you want to make sure that you get paid because a lot of these carriers will try to screw you over, right? You want to always make sure that you get paid for the work that you have done. So with us, we had to learn a couple of hard lessons. We dispatched for a couple of carriers, who ended up not paying us. We had to chase them. I had to send semi-threatening letters, threatening legal action and all of that. So to avoid that, I decided that, hey, maybe we should do credit card authorization forms. So what that is, you take the credit card from your carrier, and you let them know you charge that card maybe $1, just to make sure that it's valid. What this does is it protects you to make sure that you still get paid for all of the work that you've done. Dispatching, depending on the type of carrier that you have, can be very time consuming, especially if you have a carrier that you got to call every time you find a load, or they're difficult and they don't want you to book this load, and you want to be paid for your time, right? So with this credit card authorization form, I'm gonna go over it for, really quick. You want to make sure that you get their actual name along with their business name, the card number, the expiration date. That's self-explanatory. A lot of you may have had to sign authorization forms for any type of business that you were paying for. You want to make sure that you are detailed and you say certain words in your authorization form so that they cannot dispute it, right? So you want to make sure that you are putting in there that they are authorizing you to charge their card if you need to. Make sure that you give them specific dates or times. For this example here, this is just an example. This is actually the authorization form that we use. I changed the names, made up some card numbers and everything to protect the privacy of actual carriers. So in this one, we said, we can get the authorization to charge the credit card. We do take out a small amount in the very beginning just to make sure that that card is valid. We will refund it. So make sure you refund that $1. We do refund that dollar. We do let them know that if their invoices are not paid within 48 hours, I think we changed it to 72 hours now, we give them an extra day to pay their invoices. If they don't pay it, the card on file is going to automatically be charged for the full amount. This is protecting you just in case they want to do a chargeback. You can dispute that. You can show the company, the card company, your authorization form, letting them know like, hey, they signed this and gave me the okay to go ahead and charge them. So this is protecting you. So it's basically a contract. Make sure, in your notes, you let them know, like I said, you're going to refund them the $1 for the authorization. You just want to make sure that it's a valid card. Let them know how you're sending your invoices out. You can send it regular mail or email. I don't think anybody really sends anything via the mail anymore. But you still want to, you want to clarify that. Let them know if the invoice is not paid within whatever your time frame is. It doesn't have to be 48 hours. Like I said, ours used to be 72 hours. We changed it to 48 hours. However, you want to give them a whole week to pay their invoice, that's up to you. We add a late fee because we don't, we can't pay bills for free. You know what I mean? So that we take that late fee on. If you want to add a late fee, that's fine. You don't have to. We choose to do that because we've been burned a couple of times. And we also let them know that the card holder is responsible for any charges incurred on a card, depending on what kind of card they're using. Some companies charge you, to make online payments or, whatever. So make sure you let them know that we are not responsible for that. Make sure that they do sign that and send it back to you. So hopefully you understand the need for your credit card authorization form. Like I said, this is strictly to protect you. So I highly, highly, highly recommend that you do send one of these forms out to anyone that you have to invoice, whether it's your carrier or, anybody else. If you're setting up a business for somebody like we do, anytime you have to bill somebody, make sure you have that authorization form to protect yourself.